actually see a possum up the hill on the log. Probably has babies. It's probably a mama looking for some food, which I would be happy to provide, except for me coming out here is just going to scare Mama Possum off. She's up there on the log. Well, in just a minute, there'll be some kitty food on the front porch, so if she's desperate and makes her way to the front area, that'll be good. Hi! I just let Stripe and Marty out a few minutes ago, so I know they're around. They were out at 6, back in when we got up, and then out a bit ago. Hi, Morris. Such as most days. We go in and out and in. Hi, Morris. There you are, handsome. Hi. Hi. Yeah, I don't know if you can see or not, but Mama, I'm just going to assume it's a Mama Possum is up there on the log. If she bides her time, she can come down and get a little bit of dry chow. Well, I didn't see where Mr. Possum went, but he's not up on the log anymore. Possums have a body temperature that's in the low 70s, and they don't carry rabies, and they normally wouldn't be out during the day except when they have babies. So, yeah. We're going to head to the gym here in a bit, and I'll be out in the yard this afternoon. I did not catch the owl on video last night. It's so disappointing. I mean, I heard her. I know they're up there, but I didn't catch her on video. It's so disappointing. But hopefully really soon there'll be owlets peeking out of the box, and I would certainly like to catch them coming in and out with food and other stuff. I moved this one new maple from Mr. Maple up here while it's resting before I do something with it so that I don't mess it up. It was too close to the water spigot where I get water for the cats in the morning, and I needed to protect it. So and there it is. This is Coralinum Pink is what this one is again. So, but yeah, I'll be out here doing stuff. My pots came, little smaller blue pots for the Mandevilla vine. And I'm going to take them out of the black pot and probably try to plant them in that pot and just leave them on that trellis and see what it does. In this spot, I'm just going to leave it there. I'm enjoying it in the morning. It's so pretty. Well, it's certainly one of the times of the year where enjoying the color of Dawn's tree is, peak spring color right now before it turns a darker maroon for the summer. I know the sunlight is not really allowing us to see the azaleas down there, but those two purple azaleas are really pretty, as is the red bud tree. Stripe wants to go back out, which is fine, except for Tux is moving around out back doing his morning constitutional, and I don't like for him to have to watch every step he takes with Stripe following him or worrying about where he is. So I've got Stripe in the house for a minute. It's the things I do because I'm home and I can do them. Yeah, I'm excited to get out here and plant some flowers. It's going to be Easter this weekend. Johnny's not going to be home. He doesn't have Friday or Monday off. He's got a lot of homework and studying to do to get ready for final exams. I moved the 3 things on top of this little bookshelf last night and put the botanical garden here to keep it safe while I'm working on it. Now that it's gotten taller, it won't go where I had it. I have all intentions of putting a small white taller bookshelf here, one of the 71-inch tall or something, when I find it, and I find it at the right price. I have another place that's going to go for the summer, but keeping the Easter things where they are for another week is good. Hi, Gray. Hi. That's the last of the chicken for now, and a little bit of kitty food. I've got to go buy another chicken, maybe later today, if not tomorrow. I'm headed out in Jules for a minute to go pick up a Facebook Marketplace Lego purchase. That's about 3 miles from here down toward Rawls Church. The opening drone footage near the cemetery around that intersection. Don got tied up with work this morning. Nothing bad, just maybe off to a little bit busier start than he would have anticipated. And we're probably going to go to the gym when I get back. But if he's still tied up, I told him, well, we can go to the gym tomorrow instead. And, you know, try to be flexible or whatever. Because, you know, I want to get out in the yard and get started on stuff too. So I got this Heart Lake City. I don't remember the set number or the exact name, but it's like, it's a friend set. It's a Heart Lake City set. It's a very colorful set. And I think it's an apartment building. And the first 2 bags were opened because in friend sets, pretty much a bag number is a 1-to-1 ratio, unlike some of the adult creator stuff. And anyway, the first 2 bags were open, but she's pretty sure it's all there. And the rest of the bags, I think there's 9 or 10 bags in this set, it's a bigger friend set, are intact. And of course, you know, I got lots of parts, so if it's missing a piece or 2, I won't be too upset. I'm sure I have it. But anyway, I got it for about 1/3 of new. So I was very pleased. This is one that I had looked at and would never have bought new, but for 1/3 of new, yeah, I'm gonna go pick it up. It's a grandma that bought it for her granddaughter, and the granddaughter insisted she build it herself, but then quit after the first 2 bags and would not let grandma help her finish it. So grandma's like, well, I guess we'll sell it. So fortunate for me. My grandmother seemed a little disappointed when I was texting her last night, and I get that. He pointed to let me know the ramp was partially in the road, and you know, thankfully for him, I was paying attention. Seems like he just loaded it up, and I get why he had to do it that way with the ditch and the angle and stuff, and I'm glad he's safe. I wish he'd have had a family member out there to kind of draw a little more attention to those couple of minutes that he was kind of in jeopardy there out in the road. Anyway, I don't turn right here too often, but today I'm turning right. And the school is really coming along over here. I feel sure it will be open in the fall. Dawn and I should probably on the weekend go down and take a look at what it's looking like down there. But you can see it on the maps, navigation in the car now. You can see there's been a new picture. You can see both buildings. It's been updated. You know, basically the school complex with the elementary school and the middle school both down that road now is pretty huge. And right here is the bridge that you see at the park. When Don and I are down in the park walking, this is, you know, 401 where it comes out. You can see the construction here. You can see where they've been, and it went across the other side of the street too. You can see the, you know, more of the sewer line project details. No doubt all of that woods will be gone and be developed here real soon. All right, let's let Jules take me home. She drove most of the way over here and did fine. A little too fast in the neighborhood. Here, that's down to 30, that's down to 25, that's down to 20. Yeah, I don't know why she's trying to do 35 on this neighborhood street. Probably because it's a new neighborhood and she doesn't know any better, but she knows about the street and showing me she sees the stop sign. She could pull a little farther forward here. Okay, well, hopefully she knows where she's going back out of the neighborhood, because I think she's leaving from a different entrance than I came in, which is fine, which is fine. Nice houses in here. They have a little bit of land, not enough trees for me. And look, in North Carolina, when it's 95 degrees out, you really appreciate having a few shade trees. So they'll eventually get a few trees. I mean, they've planted one nice tree. It looks like maples, although a lot of them aren't doing very well out in the front. But yeah, you really appreciate that shade tree in the summertime. So nice neighborhood though, just not enough trees. She just realized the road change, I guess, just making sure there that this was indeed safe. Like I said, I knew she was taking me out a different way than I came in, and I assume it was shorter, and she thought it was the fastest route. It's fine, I get to see a little more of the area. Obviously, where they hooked up an old neighborhood to a new neighborhood. And these are actually modular homes, mobile homes, permanent foundation homes. And they have a little bit more land than well-established landscaping. So I am about 5 miles from the house. I'm almost in Angier. This is the Angier side of Fuquay. So southwest side of town. Whereas we're on the southeast or just south side of town. I have no doubt she'll bring me right to the cul-de-sac, and then I'll have to take over and go down the driveway. But it is kind of nice in Jules, I have to say, not having my hands on the steering wheel and just paying attention to keeping my eyes on the road. Okay, now Jules, really seriously, now this is a little far back from the stop sign, sweetheart. I would feel much better if you would pull up like a human. There is a car coming, but she's still this far back from seeing. And if she would have now there's a pickup truck coming, so don't go. You could have gone if you'd have done this better. You could have gone. All right, there's nothing coming now. Maybe in the other direction, but not in our lane. Okay, so what did that take? About an extra 20 seconds of thought process there for her to do the turn instead of me. But she did the turn without any interference from me. I need to level set my expectation. And Dawn and I have struggled with this the whole time of how we want to do an intersection versus how she wants to do an intersection. And I'm going straight across. Okay, if you're going, go. I mean, no problem with going there, Jules, but I probably would have been one notch faster if I was going to go in front of that pickup truck. Yeah, there's a difference between not going to make it unsafe. If the cars were really doing that all the time, I know people are supervising and taking over, but really, if it was that bad, we would be hearing about a lot more accidents, which I'm not hearing about. But still, there's a level of comfort for the human. And how about in the future? Kind of felt like we're too close to the yellow line there, if you want to know. But if humans are going to feel comfortable with no steering wheel and no brake pedal, or sitting in the back seat and not really even having to pay attention to the road or anything, then the cars, it's got to be some combination of safe and human comfort. So I have no idea how she's taking me back. I'm going to turn left on Judd Parkway here in a bit. So she totally took me home a different way than she took me. And again, I don't really care. I never would have come back this way though, because I don't know. It's not the way I know. I'm trying to see what road I'm even on. In the enhanced version, I just can't see it. I'm surprised she hasn't beeped that I'm looking at the thing. I want to know what road this is though. Look at the street sign here. This is Angier Road. Okay. So she's going to come up on Judd Parkway just above South Park. And and I'm going to come back through the South Park stoplight, which I wouldn't have had to have done if I'd have come the other way. But, you know, it may have been a right turn versus left turn thing. I don't know. I'm happy to go a different way. I like circles. I will have made a nice circle in TeslaFi now. Yeah, this whole not having to torque the wheel thing is pretty nice. So there's the Fuquay city limits. That person had a Fuquay address, but was probably in Harnett County and definitely outside the city limits. Trying to think in New Jersey how it was. We had a lot more little names around us. You know, the named things are sort of spread out here a bit. Like, I technically lived in Trenton, but we were way the heck outside of Trenton. And I went to school in Robbinsville. And in between, you know, my house and Robbinsville was actually pretty far. It was a 20-minute bus ride at least. I mean, the elementary school really wasn't very close. And there were all these other little villes. Townships. We never talk about townships here. We talk about counties. But yeah, here's the left onto Judd Parkway. Right in the construction area. Although it doesn't look like bad construction today. Well, I'm thinking there's a little bit to this not having to torque the wheel every 5 seconds. I took Jules because we typically go exercise in Jules. And I didn't want to have to swap cars after I got back if Don's able to go exercise. That's why I took Jules. It wasn't it wasn't for any other reason. Oh, yes. You're so quiet up ahead. Not. Such a clean driving car. Not. Jules is doing 44 and a 45, so... He accelerated with determination there in that pickup truck. For Jules, it was effortless. She says she's going to turn left here versus go straight. Because, you know, we can do either. Go around South Park either way. So I've seen in both cars now, them noticing cross traffic behind them and putting the red up one way or the other in reverse. You know, when the reverse camera's up and somebody moves behind you coming from the left or the right, the red flash. Ruby and Jules are both doing a really good job about that now. There's a red Y, a green arrow. A white Y like Jules. Well, I don't know if it's performance or not. Just went past. I did see a Tesla parked in a driveway in that neighborhood I went to down there near Anger. Well, that was cool. They all had garages, but I'm sure as with a lot of people, here comes another Tesla. So that's 4 at the South Park intersection if we were counting, including Jules. You know, a lot of people got stuff in their garage. Don't necessarily park inside. Maybe park inside at night, but not coming and going during the day. You know, multiple adults living in the house, each with a car, so they don't all fit. I don't know why somebody honked back there. Jules put her turn signal on in plenty of time, so if that was at me, that was because somebody wasn't paying attention. I heard Jules with the turn signal. And besides, the speed limit there's 35, and the reason why people get bent out of shape is because they're trying to do 45 or 50 through that intersection, so I have no sympathy for them. She's doing 40 around the curve here. I'm letting her do her thing. The cops have been, sheriff's deputies, not Fuquay, been trying to catch speeders in the parking lot over there frequently lately, but you know, they're not going to pull me over for doing 38 in the curve. We have not heard a dynamite blast today. Almost every day, but not today. God, let them please, please, please finish. Yeah, she's putting her turn signal on in plenty of time. These last few releases, it's all been good. She didn't run over the other car turning into the neighborhood, so that's good. And these cars here parked along the side of the road give her pause. But she's handling it fine. Excruciatingly slow turn. Now look, I know that I need to come below and there's crap on the road, but she can tell it's the road. Seriously, like, is she gonna go into the driveway? I'm willing to let her. I think the problem was in the map about 15 feet in. Now see, she knows home is 400 feet ahead. We always tell people our driveway is 400 feet long, but yet she's not even thinking about going, God, look at the stained glass. I didn't mean to open the door. I meant to do the window, darn it. Silly girl. Silly girl. I just like the stained glass look through those Emperor One leaves. Now this tree's supposed to take a lot of heat, potentially, so if you're in the hot zone, I highly recommend it. Darn squirrel has made my birdhouse crooked. Well, I'm not getting out until there's mail. There's no mail right now. So when I did that, she actually put the flashers on. I never hit the brake or the gear selector or anything. She just threw the car in park because I was an idiot and opened the door. And I did not do that on purpose. I seriously just meant to roll down the windows. So if I put myself in drive, will she take me out of... She did. Automatically took me out of the flasher mode. Well, I'm sorry that I gave you a little heart attack, Jules, there opening up the door while you were in drive. Silly girl. Goodness. Well, she wasn't going to go down the driveway well anyway, although I was going to press the accelerator to try to get her to go this time. All on my own without Dawn trying to, you know, put a little terror in me navigating the driveway in FSD. But, you know, it's a litmus test for us. We're going to have to be able to navigate the driveway if this FSD thing is ever going to work. And I came up nice and slow and I saw Stripey. They like to lay there in the warmth on the asphalt quite a good bit. But thankfully, except for Marty... Except for Marty, they all move pretty good for the car. So I'm just going to park like this. And if we're going, then Dawn can back up. And if not, one of us will pull Jules in a bit. Okay, it's called the community center. She even had the box and everything. You can see it's a 1,500 piece set. It was a big set. So I'm very excited about it. It's right at noon and we're headed inside to work out. That ought to still get me home with a solid 3, maybe 4 hours to work out in the yard. Breeze feels great. Imagine the sun would be a little hot if the breeze wasn't so nice. Tomorrow it's going to be closer to 90. Today it's 81 for our high. Well, that was the fastest workout in the history of workouts. Baby, that was
my favorite kind of workout, man. I am pumped.
They're closed for Good Friday, and they're also closed tomorrow. They're closed the whole weekend. So, Don offered to walk up here or go home and let me plant my plants. And I said, I want to go plant my plants.
Yes.
But I said, we might come walk tonight. He said, okay, the first time he's putting on a show with you. Seems like there was something I wanted. Oh, I know. There's something I want from Lowe's or Home Depot. So we might have to have date night. That's the only time this time of year it's safe to go to those places is Not during the middle of the day on Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, if that sign saying they were closed the 18th and the 19th was there when we were here Wednesday, we just didn't see it. We weren't paying attention. We weren't looking for it. You know, we don't got little kids that want to do Easter egg hunts anymore, and it kind of just changes things. And
I don't get Peeps, and I don't get chocolate Easter bunnies.
But you had ice cream this week.
But it ain't a chocolate Easter bunny or a Reese's peanut butter bunny.
Yeah, we came up and there weren't a lot of cars up by the building.
Yeah, I was right. We're going to have the place. I said, we're going to have the place all to ourselves. And I was right. We have the place all to ourselves. There's nobody else here.
We feel a little silly. We would.
Not me. I feel fantastic.
Honey. So I went inside and checked the Harris Teeter weekly ad, and they have standing rib roast. The rancher cut is $8.99 a pound. That's a good price. And sometimes I buy the Angus cut. We'll see whichever one looks nicer. And they have in a 4-poundish size or whatever. So the butcher would be there right now if I need him to cut something. If we went later on tonight, they would have sold out for the day. And then the butchers, they come in early and they leave early over here at this Harris Teeter, so you can't get help other than to serve up what's already been cut late in the day. So anyway, I'm trying to tell you, as we turned around and Don's driving me to Harris Teeter, going later tonight wouldn't be good, and probably going tomorrow wouldn't be good right before Easter meal, people out buying their groceries. So it won't take us too long to come up here, and then we're still going to come home and I'm going to go plant flowers, and Don's got some stuff to do in his office. His contracts got busy now. They got to the point where Don can do stuff. Don's been waiting and waiting for various things to happen on the system that he can't do directly, and now that the systems people have done them, then he can pick back up with the stuff on his list. So not planning to work late, but while I piddle with my flowers.
Yep.
Mission accomplished. A chicken, 2 roasts, and some onions. But that's, you know, kind of normal shopping for us. I would have bought some more hard-boiled eggs. The Harris Teeter brand doesn't have any citric acid, but they were out of them. So, well, I'm out here to work now. I don't expect Tux to nap up there, but I did bring him over after petting him on the end of the boardwalk so he could hang over here in the shade with his mama if he wants to. We'll see. One of the Tuxes will be close by, preferably not both at the same time. Stripes over there at the end of the boardwalk. We had red begonias here last year. This year we've got white begonias, and I reseeded that flag stick holder again. Hopefully it'll stay where I want it this time. I am going to fill this and put something in it. I don't know what I'm going to put in it, but definitely something. I guess I better dig this guy up. He sure can't stay there. I have a stash of mesh bags from produce. These happen to be from limes. And I fill them with rocks, and that way if I lift this up and go to move it, my rocks can be put in something else without spreading out into the dirt. The bags are free, and it seems to work good for me. And sometimes they're in the bottoms of my plant pots and other things. It could use a tall thing. I like it at the angle. I'm going to lose some dirt until it gets roots in there. That's okay. I can always put a little more dirt back in. I did the pink begonias up here. This peony this fall, I'm going to totally dry root it and replant it. It never blooms, and I dug it out of the ground and fertilized it and everything, but it's too deep. Peonies are really fussy. So I'm going to try one more time this fall to do right by it. Get it blooming for next year. I got the deer food, impatiens in this pot here. It was like this last year too, so it was really pretty last year. Hopefully this year also. And I redid this corner. You can see I've got impatiens in 3 pots, and the evergreen thing, conifer, whatever, that I planted there in that corner that I don't know what it's called. I took it out and I fixed it because it was really low on dirt and it was crooked and it wasn't good. I'm just going slow and I'm going around and I'm doing what I can do. I'm gonna go do those 2 pots that are below the front porch next. I got this pot ready for the piece of coleus. You know, I'm taking dirt off the top. I'm breaking it up with the trowel. I'm putting fresh dirt in on top. I am going to remove this, but not in the afternoon sun. My Dusty Miller that's lived in this pot for 3 or 4 years died in the cold this winter. So I pulled it out and got that pot ready to have something in it. Something sunny. Something that takes the afternoon sun. Pot on its side was inside this pot. I got it from over by the carport, and I've got another baby snake. I still don't think this is a copperhead. I'm pretty darn sure it's not. It's the closest one it's the closest one I've seen, though. I wish he would I just want him to run on off and go do his thing. Away from me and my pots. I don't want to hurt him. No, don't come my way, darn it. I don't know. That one could be a copperhead, maybe. He's got a lot more. I've pissed him off now good. I just want him to go on his merry way so I can do what I need to do. That's what I want him to do. I want him to go somewhere away from me. Yeah, he's flattened himself out and he's got his head up ready to strike, and I don't know. I just want you to go on your way, buddy, so I can go on my way. We can get along, you know. You can go where you want to go, and you can leave me to... Wow, it's pretty amazing how he's flattened himself out. It's a lot flatter than normal. Huh. I just want him to go away. And you not just go, buddy. I'm trying to plant stuff in that pot over there. And you not just leave the area. I got a lot of stuff to do right there. I carried him from the carport. I had no idea he was in the pot. Come on, buddy. Just go away. I go get the ego blower and blow him into the yard. He used a shovel to flick him off into the dirt. Then I scooped up some dirt with him on it, and I carried him over there and I let him go in the woods. That's what my dad would have done. I wouldn't have done that with no big snake, and I did think about just going to get in the blower, but he curled up in the ball and he was easy to just carry away. And now I can do what I want to do over here because I didn't like stopping before I was done. But let me show you what I just did. And it is 4:40. I dug out a couple of ferns from here, which I'm fixing to put in those pots so that this impatient pot is not covered with the tall ferns. I still got plenty of tall ferns over here, more tall ones than I would like, but it's okay. And I put impatiens here with Panther. I lifted that up, dumped it, put fresh dirt in it, planted the impatiens. And this one, see, there's no big ferns, that variety with the super big leaf over here on this end. But I'm not planting them over here because it's too big for this spot. And I put just a little bit of dirt in this tree on the one side. Yeah, I've been sneezing too. You know. So I'm going to do this other, pot here on the end and put the ferns in the pots I brought down so they can recover in the pot and then get put someplace in the yard. I have not seen or heard the owls, but it's getting to be time for her to say hello to her mate for the afternoon. See the ferns I dug up. I've got St. Louis ribs coming out in an hour. I knew that would be a good thing to cook today because I don't have to do much to it. I'm going to stick these in the ground, and these in the ground, and this in the ground. I told Dawn, rocks and dirt, that pot on top, that plant in the pot, but no, I'm not going to plant it even in the pot. I mean, I'm going to set it in the pot, but I'm not going to take it out of its little pot yet. And I need to go around and make a list. We're probably going to go to Lowe's after we eat. I'll let Dawn take a little nap. It's just too many people this time of year to try to go in the middle of the day on Saturday or Sunday. So since we had the little cold snap and I worked so hard on the aphids, I have not had a significant number of I haven't seen them. Haven't been looking as hard, but that's also because when I've looked, I've not. You know, when you see one, you keep on going, and I keep on pulling them off, but I haven't seen them. And my peony's opening. I cannot get this metal ring to go in the ground further. I guess I'm gonna go get the hammer and see if I can't hammer it down a little bit, because it needs to go down another 2 inches so it's not interfering with the flower. See up here, you know, that one in there is at a good level, but because these two on the outside, I just couldn't get them any further. There's rocks there, the ground's hard, it just wasn't working. Just showing you the tiny pink rose and the hydrangea starting to have flowers. Hopefully that one's pink again this year. White begonias, red salvia. I could use one more, but that's all I had. White begonias and the red salvia. Same over here. I thought the taller in the back and the shorter in the front and the contrasting colors would be good. I've got impatiens in the 2 back white pots. And I'm going to buy a 6-pack of begonias for the front white pot. Might only put 4 in it, but still got to get the ferns out. Still got to fill with dirt, but I'm waiting to put a piece of cement underneath it so it won't grow into the ground. Got you know, dirt in both those pots. Got impatiens and dirt here. God, I knew what I was going to put in that, but right now I don't remember. I did plant the impatiens down here. You see how I set the little tree in the pot until later in the summer at least. And I did plant the new guinea impatiens. So, last few minutes the mosquitoes started biting. Dinner is going to be done in about 15 minutes. It's like 6:15, so I'm calling her quits now. I didn't make my list. I still need to make my list. I did feed kitties and took an Amazon delivery and restarted the camera. It's 5:07 p.m. Mama gave out her call from the box about 5 minutes ago, which is usually my signal to go get the camera. Although sometimes she doesn't leave the box for another 2 hours. I'm trying to finish up down by the front steps so I can get out of her zone. It's 10 till 8 and we're headed to Lowe's, to the garden center, so we don't have to go during peak prime hours tomorrow. Certainly don't want to have to do that. Yeah, this release, Donnie, is staying really far back at stop signs. That was my experience a couple times I've drove now. It's reminding me of Twister.
Oh, really?
First off, the wind chimes.
Yeah.
And then when we were back getting the cement pieces, the plastic covering the stones up on the top was crinkling. And it was very Twister reminiscent. Don's just letting me do my thing.
Yeah.
They closed at 8 and we got here at 8, so we'll have to go through the main part of the store. Well, this is getting you caught up on your exercise for the day.
Yeah, well, look, I thought I was supposed to get out of lifting weights today and all that resistance training stuff.
We had to buy 8 little bags instead of 4 big bags. We were not going over to Home Depot. Home Depot's actually in trouble with me because they made them get rid of Chonky the cat, who has lived in the garden center for over 10 years because the new manager didn't like him. So all of the women in Fuquay-Varina are boycotting Home Depot. That's not why we came to Lowe's, but you know what I'm saying. If people can boycott for this, that, and the other, us women, we are not happy with that manager. So the caretaker who works at the Home Depot for 10 years was able to catch Chunky and take her to their house. But it's a feral cat that's never lived indoors and is basically freaked out. And everybody loved Chunky the cat. And so we're not happy with the Fuquay Home Depot. Don't mess with women and animals. I loaded up the light stuff. Begonias, impatiens, and one hibiscus.